Good day, everyone. I will be discussing today the fundamentals of brand management. A brand refers to the identity of a company, a product, a service, or an entrepreneur himself or herself. A brand is a symbol of promise or assurance from the entrepreneur that what it purports to the customers will happen. So a good brand does not only entices the customer or does not only offers the customer to try the product but also makes them loyal to it. Moreover, the brand sets an image of the business to the public. So it is quite a challenge to the budding entrepreneur to understand how to craft a brand, how to market this brand, and how to make this brand deliver. So these are the entire message of brand management. Here are some of the examples of brands. So we have YouTube, Coca-Cola, Levi's, H&M, Lacoste, Red Bull, Nestle, Disney, and many others. Brand management. Brand management is a supervision of the tangible and intangible elements of a brand. The tangible elements include the product itself, its packaging, its price, and its location. The intangible elements, on the other hand, include the perception and relationship of the customers with the brand. So brand management is this supervision. It supervises the tangible and intangible elements of a brand. The tangible elements are those that are visible in the naked eye, such as the product itself, its packaging, its price, and its location. On the other hand, the intangible elements are those perception and relationship of the customers with the brand. Aside from that, brand management builds or creates emotional connection between the customer and the company. It also builds customer loyalty and lifetime values. Branding. Branding is the process of integrating the strategies formed from the marketing mix to give an identity to the product or service. The goal of branding includes the following: establishing to target customers that the business is reliable and trustworthy and that the product or service is a superior solution to their current problems, differentiating with competitors, and driving customer loyalty and retention. So, branding is very important since it does not only makes a memorable impression to your consumer, but it also allows your customers or clients to know what to expect from your company. It is a way of distinguishing yourself from the other competitors and clarifying what it is that you offer that makes you a better choice. As an important element of a brand, the brand name is a major differentiator of the entrepreneur against the competitors. To be different and catchy, a brand name must possess the following characteristics. So, the brand name is the one that sticks to the mind of the customers and to the public, so it must be different and catchy. So, a brand name must possess these following characteristics: it must be unique, extendable, easy to remember, can describe the benefits of the product or service, can be converted to other dialects or languages in case the entrepreneur expands to other territories, can describe a product category, can describe concrete qualities, and is positive and inspiring. So we are now done discussing the fundamentals of brand management. So we will now proceed to product development, operations, and financial plan. So business plan will not be complete if the operations and financial plan are not included. So these two plays a crucial part in ensuring that the business is operationally feasible and financially viable. So these two will tell if the big idea generated through product development process is realistic. So we will now focus on that. Fundamentals of product development. Product development is the process of developing, testing, and commercializing a product or service with the ultimate objective of solving the problem of the primary target market. It is composed of four sequential steps: developing a product or service description, creating a prototype, testing the prototype, and validating the market. Product or service description. The product or service description simply describes how a product or service works and how it benefits the customer. An entrepreneur has to take note of the following regarding the product or service description. So, first, it should directly address the primary target market in a personal manner using everyday language. So, in order for the entrepreneur to address it in a personal manner, he or she must put himself or herself in the customer's shoes. Second, it should highlight the features that will cater to the customer's needs or address the customer's problem. The entrepreneur must focus more or feature more the service or products that they have that will cater the customer's needs or address the customer's problem. Third, realistic superlatives should be used for the product description. There's no need for the entrepreneur to use words such as world class and excellence, since it may not matter to the customers at all. So just use realistic superlatives that are um, real and believable. Creating a prototype of the product or service. So after defining the product or service, you may now proceed with creating a prototype. A prototype is a preliminary model or sample of a new product or service that is created to test a product concept or service process. This is an this is an exciting process for the entrepreneur because he or she will be able to see that his or her ideas will soon become a tangible reality. So, the entrepreneur's creativity and ingenuity will be used in creating a prototype. According to entrepreneur, creating a prototype lessens implementation or commercialization risk and provides the entrepreneur with a bunch of advantages as follows. First, creating a prototype enables the entrepreneur to engage in trial and error, provides room for improvements, and refines the functionality of the product or service process. It is very expensive and risk intensive to commercialize a product without creating a prototype, so it would be an advantage for the entrepreneur. Second, creating a prototype provides the entrepreneur a window to test the performance and specification of various materials and service processes. So, every detail of the product or service will be um, scrutinized carefully, and all flaws will be addressed right away before commercialization. Third, a prototype helps the entrepreneur effectively describe the product or service to the product team. So it will provide information to the product team that is needed to create the right product or services as planned. Number 4. Creating a prototype elicits respect from key stakeholders and customers. At the same time, a prototype gives credibility to the entrepreneur. So some entrepreneurs only present vague and big ideas but no details as to its feasibility and implementation. So, creating a prototype is the stage where the entrepreneur can experiment, develop, and make some improvements in the potential product or service. The objective of the entrepreneur at this stage is to verify if the product or service concept will work at its simplest, fastest, and cheapest way. Testing the product prototype. Testing the prototype is a vital process before an actual product or service is launched to the market. Testing the prototype will uncover the final loopholes that need to be fixed before commercialization. It gives the entrepreneur leeway to examine and scrutinize the prototype and provide feedback as to what can be improved before the launch. So, these improvements and changes must be completed first before moving forward to the next step. The following testing methods are applied by the entrepreneur. First, focus group discussion. So, the participants will provide relevant insights about the new product or service. Second, legality and ethical test. So prior to launching, the entrepreneur must ensure that the product or service complies with all relevant laws and regulation and has a necessary license or permit to operate a particular business. Third, safety test. The entrepreneur must ensure that the product is safe to use, safe to be consumed, and safe to be applied. Fourth, product costing test. So, the entrepreneur must examine every stage of the manufacturing process or every process of the service blueprint to evaluate and finalize the cost involved. So, fifth, component test. Each component test of the product or service must be tested independently to identify component failures for goods or service failures for services. Six, lastly, competitors' product or service test. The entrepreneur must test a similar line of product or the competitor's product or service itself to compare and get the best practice to be applied to the new product or service. Testing the product prototype is mandatory to ensure that the product or service will not fail the customers and will deliver its definitive purpose. This will elicit customer satisfaction and eventually customer loyalty and retention. So, this is a time to prove that the concept formulated by the entrepreneur will work and is feasible in real life. So, this is the end of my discussion. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section below. And that would be all, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.